hopefully that won't die. Okay, so that's our agenda for today. We're going over celebrations, backward design strategy, any needs for your programs, program improvement ideas, CDL, camp invention, which Ms. McCracken will be coming for that. And then we'll talk about questions and concerns, and then as always, we'll go to our horizontal and vertical alignment. So if you were just walking in, I have two handouts for you. There you go. Okay, so first, I know that we have lots of celebrations. So band, do y'all want to share your awesome news with the group?
We had a record number of students who did well at the YO Solo Ensemble Contest. Okay, you have to help me with the middle school. We brought 177. So we brought 107. We brought.
No, we took the kids. No, he's talking about the solo ensemble.
Oh, solo ensemble. Okay. Yeah, a lot. A lot of
It
kids.
was 107 kids.
12 to 14-year-olds.
And how many first division medals? It was over 100.
120.
120.
1, 2, 3.
It was 123. We had students who had multiple events. High school, we brought, did I say today, we brought 85, and I think we came home with 106 first division medals and 56 advances. So I think that it's close to that. So yeah, they did well. And we brought 100 high school students and 175 middle school students, 2 separate occasions, to Houston Symphony.
Do we have any for art, choir, theater?
Choir, I took 14 to solo ensemble, all of them got medals. I took an ensemble, medium ensemble, and ran first division as well, so we brought back 20 medals, and I have 8 going to state.
Seven, we have 7 in all region choir, all region honor choir, 1 in all region choir, and 7 earned first division on solos. It's not quite 170, but for us.
Anyone else? Okay.
I'm the theater teacher. We have contests a week from tomorrow, and it's really earlier than usual, and we're in a new district, so we really don't know what to expect, but it's a week from Saturday. It'll be at Barbers Hill if anybody would like to come see it. It's open to the public.
And then I'm dance, but the Dazzlers did have their last competition this past weekend, and they did very well. They received Division I, and then received first place in their team contemporary and kick, and then they received second place overall for all of the medium team. So that was like a big thing for them.
Art.
Yeah, art.
So after a very long and drawn-out, arduous rodeo art process, it was so difficult, and they were so awful this year. Like at the rodeo, we thankfully have at least our best of show and gold medal for high school, junior high, and elementary. For high school, I also have one student who got best of show who is receiving an interview for the Western Art Academy. And then Kara's her first year teaching art, and she got a gold medal student, and then Miss Campbell, you have the other 2. They're the best of show, or no, there's just one. Best of show. I always forget there's 3 or 2. So
Good job.
Also, Google Doodle, are y'all doing that?
My art club is.
We're doing it, I just handed out my kids, and we already had a few submissions for that, and there's some that are really good. So I'm excited about that.
It's a cool out.
Awesome.
It's a cool out.
Oh, yeah, it's really cool.
And Mr. Young did request that if you haven't shared these celebrations with him and Miss Lang, to please email them. They like to send these things to the media, so if you haven't done that, be sure to do that.
And pictures.
Yeah, and pictures, for sure. Okay, yes.
We have one more.
A few weeks ago, I decided to propose to to what was my girlfriend, now my fiance. So we'll be getting married in about 3 weeks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna switch gears into our little planning strategy that I have for you today, which is backward design. Many of you have already heard of this, but there's an activity that we'll be doing with our content areas to kind of plan for the rest of your year, and it can also link with our vertical and horizontal planning that we have for later on. So we're starting with a quote, and this is from Stephen R. Covey. He is the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And he says, to begin with the end in mind means to start with a clear understanding of your destination. It means to know where you're going so that you better understand where you are now, so that the steps you take are always in the right direction. Okay. So backward design basically is planning backwards. So you're starting with the end result first, and then you're taking a step back into how are you going to see the evidence that reaches that end result. And then the third step is the planning and the instruction and learning experiences that will take you to that eventual desired result. Okay, so questions to ask yourself in the different stages of backward design. The first one is, what do you want your students to be able to do? The second stage is, how will you know students have achieved the desired results? So with this, you could use informal checks for understanding, observation, quizzing or testing, academic prompts, or maybe even like for our sake, we use performance a lot. So for dance, I use peer evaluation. We do small groups and they watch each other and use critiques. So that's a way that I use that for stage 2 in my class. Stage 3 is, what materials will you use to accomplish these goals? So what instructional materials are you going to bring to the table to end up at that end result? Okay, so here's my dance example, and then after this you will get with your groups and create your own. So for my end result, what I want my class to be able to do is perform a 4/8 count hip hop dance with rhythmic accuracy. So I want them to be able to do the dance and be on count, staying with the beat. Especially for dance 1, they have a hard time with tempo. They want to either rush or either they're late. So we're really drilling how to count the music. So that's my end result. My stage 2, when practicing the routine, I will break them up into smaller groups and they will watch each other, kind of assess where they're at, and they'll monitor their group members' progress on counting the music and staying with the beat. And then my stage 1, so what I'm going to bring to the table to get to that point is, as a class, we count out loud. I set a tempo, and we'll start counting together. Okay, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'll add in and counts. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. The next step that we do is we do it to our hip hop song. So I'll play the song, we'll count it out loud together. Okay. Then another step that we do is we do the dance out, like as a whole group, counting out the steps. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We drill those steps and then eventually put them all together to the music. So with the music playing, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all of those steps lead up to my ultimate goal. Okay? All right, so now you're going to take that handout that I gave you, and on stage 1, I want you to fill out what would pertain to your content area. So what do you want your class to be able to accomplish? Just give one example. I'll give you all about a minute to do that. Okay.
Just do it individually?
Yes, do this one individually for your particular grade, and then in a minute you'll talk about it. So this will be individually for your particular grade.
So which one is successful? Could you put the examples back?
Sure. Yeah, and so the examples for stage one, I also gave you another handout too that tells you what questions to be thinking about. So this is ultimately the end result. What do you want your class to be able to do by the end of class? Or unit, yeah. It could be one day or it could be a day. Okay, now go ahead and talk with your content areas and discuss what you've come up with for stage one.
That's your input. So,
This was actually, when we did this,
Really? Yeah.
Okay, what would this project teach? Like, you got that part right.
Yes. Yeah. It's been a while since I had that piece of video, but yeah. Interesting. Different way of thinking.
yeah. So you would probably do that anyway.
Right? Yeah. You just don't realize it. Right. Okay, about 30 more seconds, and then we'll go to stage two. Okay, so stage one should have been your final result. What did you want your students to be able to do at the end of class or at the end of your unit? All right, let's go to stage two. So you're going to do the same thing. First, you'll fill it out for yourself, and then we'll discuss. But stage two, remember, this is how you would know that students have achieved that desired result. So what are you going to do in the process to see that they are getting the content? Okay, so are you going to evaluate, how are you going to evaluate that? And you can also refer to your handout if you need help with the questioning. So what evidence? Okay, about 30 more seconds, and then we'll discuss, or you can start discussing.
Get fired on your day off.
Right.
All right, about 1 more minute to discuss, then we'll go to stage 3. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move to stage 3. So, we'll do the same process, but in stage 3, you need to explain how will you instruct your students? What materials are you going to use to get to those stages that you just did? Okay, so remember, keep in mind that we're thinking backwards, so that's sometimes tricky. Remember, we're thinking backwards. So, explain that. And then you can discuss with your content areas. So I put a question here that might help guide you also.